and he's gonna have to do it alone. Just like that.
Okay.
Ready for more.
Make it a movie.
With 2 more players ahead, nobody can stop it. Oh my God. Lightning, the Flash, and Thunder.
Disgusting.
My God, you know, despite CS2's first full year as a video game being divisive as hell, its first full year as an esport has been nothing but exceptional. Some will argue that the viewing experience is the best it's ever been. In fact, I believe that the spectacle of this game this year has done a lot of work keeping this community from just completely turning on Valve.
Before we get into today's video, I wanted to thank our sponsor Cash App for helping us create an entire season of our brand new character-focused show, Mains. Cash App makes it easy to invest in yourself. Get up to 4% annual interest on your savings balance with monthly direct deposits of $300 or more. Thanks again to Cash App for sponsoring this video. Go check out an episode of Mains over on our YouTube channel and check out Cash App using the link in the description.
All right, so yeah, this year has been sick as hell if you are a fan of sitting down and watching the best in the world play Counter-Strike. I mean, we got Na'Vi coming back with an international squad and No Simple to win a major and remain one of the most dominant teams. G2 is arguably the most consistent they've ever been, alongside Vitality, who continue to show just how well-rounded they are. And obviously, there's Spirit, a new star player who came out of seemingly nowhere and potentially changed the way the game is played forever. And this is without even mentioning all the amazing moments, spectacular failures, and fantastic games we've been able to watch these past 10 months. In some ways, it's truly been a great time to be a CS fan. But now we are right in the thick of the RMR for the final major, and right now, Shanghai is shaping up to be the perfect climax. The only remaining question is who's going to end up on top. As far as the orgs themselves, I assume many people already have their minds made up. Na'Vi have stunned the world and won 4 major events this year already. It's looking like they'll make it past the RMR, so they have a high chance of going back-to-back in China. But even if they don't, I can still see a lot of people saying that they were the most dominant team this year. That being said, the 3 other teams I mentioned have all been successful in their own right. And thanks to recency bias, any of them winning this major can sway some opinions. However, as I alluded to with Spirit, on top of this year being about big wins from big orgs, it's also been about some incredible individual performances. And right now, that race for the #1 spot is way too close to call. For those who don't know, the 1 spot on the HLTV top 20 list is one of the most coveted awards in Counter-Strike. Aside from tournament wins or even MVPs, the top 20 dictates which players have had the most impact. And of course, the best players since 2010 have seen their faces at the top. But the race this year is exceptionally tight if you ask me. And personally, I think it's between 3 players: Monesy, Zywoo, and Donk. I know, shocker. Now, other players are going to find themselves high on the list this year: Nico, Shiro, and of course, even JL. JL in particular has been an insane player with a crazy story this year. But despite the wins, I just don't think his individual statistics, which play a major role in HLTV's decisions, were consistently high enough for him to be ranked that high. That being said, if he pops off and wins another major and another MVP, shit, I'll hear anyone out. Still, Donk, Zywoo, and Monesy are my top 3 heading into Shanghai. And looking online, I don't think that's very controversial. Still, I have my thoughts given just how close some of their stats currently are from LAN events these past 12 and even just 6 months. So let's start with Donk and why I think it might not actually be him. Donk came out of nowhere and literally changed the way the game is played while breaking records in the process. He tied with Nico for the highest rating at a tournament and then did it again at another event, also becoming the youngest player to get an MVP at a quote big event. Even more recently, the most kills on a map on LAN, and he's still just 17. Not to mention, the kid has a cultural impact. He burst onto the scene, screaming his head off, talking shit, and sliding around the map, donking on his elders. There is an emotional aspect to the decision that HLTV makes, and I think this is going to be considered pretty highly when it comes to him.
Into T-spawn, he'll see this clear for the taking.
Oh, there's that shot.
Donk hits it.
Haircut on Snacks.
Now we're talking 2 pistol kills already in round 7.
Oh, he's got another one.
Just right back into the con peak. Every step of the way met by resistance. What else, Donk?
He's got the right read.
What more?
Oh my God, after the mausoleum.
takes it, hits the ground in an instant.
Get in the crypt!
Unfortunately though, Donk has been lacking a little as of late, which will be his biggest downfall. Listen, he won Katowice in spectacular fashion, has 4 MVPs this year, and a few more wins, and he's a rifler. I so much want it to be him, and he's going to be high on the list. But Pro League, Cologne, and Copenhagen are the events that I think are going to hold him back from being at that top spot this year, unless something crazy happens. As for Zywoo, once again, he is quietly the highest rated player in pretty much every stat other than damage per round. Other players and storylines may have distracted from the fact that this guy is still at the top of his game. Cultural impact will still forever elude him. Still, he's been lights out and has been pivotal in carrying Vitality to their wins, including speedrunning through the Shanghai RMR. So if things were to end today, statistically speaking, I think it maybe should be him. Plus, he's literally only just turned 24, and another #1 would put him ahead of Simple, which would be spicy, and I like that.
Looking likely once again, not even a split, just a mid-take, segregated by the incendiary, walloped by Zywoo's orb. Nico is taken out of the equation. Ow, how's he done that?
I don't even think he saw him for a second there. A pure wallbang from Zywoo? Oh my goodness!
Now, there's still one more to get through, and that is, of course, Monesy. And his story is in a lot of ways similar to Donk, and I'm not just talking about youthfulness. Monesy is just so clever and confident with his movement, decisions, getting important picks, knowing when to trade, and is aggressive when he needs to, which swings rounds for G2 time and time again. The difference is his consistency. No one can deny that Monesy has been so consistent this year, winning MVP at each event G2 has won, most recently being Blast World Finals, where they beat Zywoo before then sweeping Donk and Spirit. Yes, that's recent, but it's true, and the rest of his stats speak for themselves, which is why he's my current pick.
They take their sweet time
Hunter
until
was so
Hunter
blind.
comes through with his. He's stuck though.
What was that?
Now, like I said earlier with JL, and I'm sorry to couch this, but an MVP performance from any of these players at the major can and likely will make all the difference. But shit, the fact that we are having this conversation about 3 different players just proves once again how good the scene is right now. That said, I want to hear what you guys think about how this year will shake out and what you're looking forward to at the major. Things are just getting started at the RMRs. Most of these guys are going to make it all the way through, so expect to hear from me very, very soon. Like I said, I want Spirit to win. If it's going to be them, obviously I would like Liquid to win, or a Brazilian team. If it shakes out this way, I could see a Vitality G2 Grand Finals. Map 1 is going to be Nuke, Map 2 is going to be Mirage, and it's going to go to Map 3, which is going to be Ancient.